So welcome to our theory class today, and we want directly to go to what we call this table here. As you can see, this is the famous MTB, and MTB is the model town board. And to define it, we say that a model town board is a representation of road networks in Kenya and East Africa. It is a representation of road networks in Kenya and East Africa. So we have various features of the model town board. So we want to look at each feature and its functions. Features of the model town board and their functions. Feature number one, these parts over here, these parts. So we refer to them as greenfields, government reserves, or the road reserves, which are used for future road expansion. We have another feature we refer to as the major road. A major road is the one that has 4 lanes. From this side also we have 4 lanes. And then we have the minor road that have 3 lanes. And from this other side we have 3 lanes. But they have one name. We refer to them as a dual carriage or one-way traffic road. The type of a road where the traffic flows in the same direction. The next feature you are going to look at is the white lines. On a dual carriage road we have white lines, and the main function of the white line is to divide the lanes on a one-way traffic road. Again, we have continuous white line and broken white lines. Continuous white line means you cannot overtake or change lanes. Broken white lines allows you to overtake or change lanes if safe to do so. The next feature you are going to look at now is the central pavement or the central reserve. The central pavement or the central reserve that separates a one-way traffic road. The next feature you are going to look at is the U-turn over here, and the U-turn helps you to change directions. And then still on the central pavement we have these marks that we call them reflectors or delta marks. Reflectors or delta marks, which are used to reflect light at night to show the width of the road. Very, very good. The next feature you are going to look at is this one here. This is a roundabout. And a roundabout is a junction that has got entries and exits. If you look well here, this is an entry, this is an exit, this is an entry, this is an exit. There's an entry, exit, entry, exit, entry, exit. So a roundabout is an intersection, it's a junction. As you can see, roads are meeting at one point. We have numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 when it comes to the roundabout. Numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. Number 1, 2, and 3 are the spaces of the roundabout or the outermost lanes. Number 1, 2, and 3, they are the spaces of the roundabout or the outermost lanes. And then we have lane number 4 is the innermost lane or the roundabout. Lane 4 is the innermost lane or the roundabout. Once we start moving vehicles along, you will realize why we refer to lane number 4 as the innermost lane or the roundabout. And it's simply because we don't have a straight option when it comes to lane number 4 on the roundabout. You must make some turns before you exit. Now we have several rules of the roundabout. And number 1, there is no stopping at the roundabout. And if you cannot stop automatically, it means you cannot wait at the roundabout. So no stopping, no waiting, no parking at the roundabout. And then number 4, no picking. And number 5, no dropping. So picking and dropping is all about the passengers. You cannot pick and you cannot drop passengers on the roundabout. Rule number 6, finally, no changing lanes at the roundabout. There's no changing lanes. Moving on, we have another part over here, and that part is the traffic island. And the traffic island is used for number 1, advertisements. Number 2, it is used for beautification purposes of the roundabout. Number 3, it is used as a position for the traffic light signals. And number 4, it is used to determine the size of the roundabout. Very, very good. The next feature we are going to look at are these marks here. These ones. We refer to them as yellow painted curbs. Yellow painted curbs. And the yellow painted curbs means that parking or waiting is prohibited. The next feature you are going to look at is the two-way traffic road. This one here, the same as this one. And a two-way traffic road is a type of a road where the traffic flows in opposite directions. So that one is going that direction and this one is facing the other direction. So it is a type of a road where the traffic flows in opposite direction. On a model town board, a two-way traffic will act as an entry and as an exit to the major road. A two-way traffic on a model town board will act as an entry and as an exit to the major road. Good. The next thing you are going to look at is the yellow line. Here we have the yellow line, and the main purpose of the yellow line is to separate a two-way traffic. And then we have continuous yellow line and broken yellow line. Continuous yellow line means no overtaking. Broken yellow line allows you to overtake if safe to do so. The next feature you are going to look at is the pedestrian crossing over here. This is the pedestrian crossing, and the pedestrian crossing is a safe place provided for road users on foot to cross the road. It is found within the town and it is controlled by the traffic light signals. Here we have the zebra crossing, same as this one on the other side, and the zebra crossing provides a safe place for pedestrians to cross the road. They are found outside the town and they are not controlled by the traffic light signals. Very well. Now, the next feature you are going to look at, the parking. We have two types of parkings on a model town board. Let's start with the big one here. We refer to it using four good names. The name number one and the most common name is angle parking. Angle parking, since vehicles are parked at an angle of 45 degrees. Angle parking, since vehicles are parked at an angle of 45 degrees. Number two, ample parking. Ample parking, since it has got many parking slots and you can park for long. Number three is a controlled parking zone. Since it's a pay parking, the parking is controlled by a security personnel or a security guard. Name number four, it is a secured parking. There is security for your car and we have the securing walls. As you can see, it has got some fences over here. So it is angle parking, ample parking, controlled parking, or secured parking. So we have rules of the same parking space, this one. And rule number one says you start by parking from the farthest end. Park from the farthest end, that is rule number one. Rule number two says you park saloon cars only. And then rule number three says you park using forward gear. Exit using reverse gear, then forward gear again. Rule number three says you park using forward gear, exit using reverse gear, then forward gear again. Note that angle parking has got entries and exits. This one means that if you enter using one point, that's not the same point that you'll exit through. A demonstration of the same. So let us assume this vehicle was coming from this side to the parking. You'll use this entry point. And then from here, rule number one says you park from the farthest end and you park using forward gear. Then, of course, it's a saloon car. And then to exit, you exit using reverse gear, then forward gear again. So let us say we were coming from this side through the parking. Now we enter from this side, you park from the farthest end using forward gear, and then you'll exit using reverse gear, then forward gear again. Are we together until that point? Good. The final thing we are going to look at is the final parking space, which is this one. It also has four names. Name number one is flash parking. Flash parking over here. This is flash parking simply because vehicles are parked for a very short period of time. Name number 2, uncontrolled parking. Uncontrolled parking. So drivers park at their own risk. Number 3, unsecured parking. Unsecured parking. Since you park at your own risk, there is no security for your car, and again, there is no securing walls unlike on the angle parking. And then the final name is straight or parallel parking. So when vehicles park here, they will form a straight line, and the parking itself is parallel to the two-way traffic road. So flash parking, uncontrolled parking, unsecured parking, straight or parallel parking. So we have rules. We have rules here. Rules of that flash parking, and rule number 1 is common between the two. You start by parking from the farthest end. Always park from the farthest end. And then rule number 2, you park all types of vehicles except trailers and tractors. Here you park all types of vehicles except trailers and tractors. Finally, rule number 3, park using reverse gear, exit using forward gear. Park using reverse gear, exit using forward gear. Demonstration of the same. So if you are coming from this side, you'll use rule number 1, you park from the farthest end, and of course you will park using reverse gear. Another vehicle will come and park to the next farthest end using reverse gear. Another one also using reverse gear. So in flash parking, you always leave spaces for exit. Always leave a space for exit, so that if this driver comes before the two of them, he or she will be able to move out freely. Okay, so those are some basic features and functions of the model town board. Now we look at what we call the rules of the model town board. Rules of the model town board. And remember, the rules of the model town board forms the questions that we ask at the model town board all the way to the final exam. We have 3 rules of the model town board. Rule number 1 says you use the shortest and the most correct route without using parking. Use the shortest and the most correct route without using parking. Rule number 2 says you use the longest and the most correct route without using parking. And finally, rule number 3 says you use parking as the last option. Parking as the last option does not mean that you park your car simply because you've not found the route to your destination. It means you trace your way through the parking. So that is the model town board. Features and their functions. The model town board, features and their functions. On our next class, we are going to look at what we call movement along the major road. Until next time, bye for now. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you for your time. Bye bye.